A Tennessee man wrongfully convicted of murder is now exonerated. It's a story Fox 17 News has been following for years now.
That's right, we have. Adam Braseel of Grundy County spent 12 long years in prison for a murder he didn't commit. In fact, there was no evidence he had ever even seen the man prosecutors say he killed. Fox 17 News' Jackie Del Pilar live downtown at the state capitol, where Governor Lee just granted Braseel a form of executive clemency.
This is a huge day for Adam Braseel. He is now officially cleared of all charges stemming from that 2006 murder. Now, to give you a refresher on this case, for those who may not be familiar with it, Braseel was picked out of a photo lineup as the man who murdered 60-year-old Malcolm Burrows. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to 51 years in prison, despite never meeting the victim or his family and having no evidence against him. His conviction was finally overturned in 2019 thanks to investigations by a crime blogger and a fingerprint that proved he was not the killer. This exoneration not only means his record is officially cleared, he's now also eligible for $1 million in restitution from the state for this wrongful conviction. Now, he is one of 17 people that the governor granted clemency to today, and I actually just got off of a video call with Braseel just 5 minutes ago. He says the governor called him himself this morning to give him the good news. I'll have more with that interview with him on Fox 17 News after the football game tonight. Braseel was smiling from ear to ear today as he shared his good news. He says this was a long, hard-fought battle that wouldn't have been possible without the many people on the outside advocating for him. This really is the last step he needs to truly have a fresh start. A phone call from Governor Bill Lee that Adam Braseel won't soon forget.
And then he said, and I believe you're completely innocent. And then he said that I was fully exonerated.
Exonerated. It's what Braseel's been praying for since his wrongful conviction more than a decade ago.
I'm undeserving of a lot of things, but of this right here, I deserve it.
Braseel was wrongly picked out of a photo lineup as the man who killed 60-year-old Malcolm Burrows in 2006. He spent 12 years in prison for the murder, despite never meeting the victim or his family and having no evidence against him. He was finally released from prison in 2019 after new fingerprint testing technology cleared him.
I've been completely innocent this whole time. Faithful man of God. It didn't mean I would come home.
The exoneration wipes his record clean and makes him eligible for up to $1 million in restitution from the state. He says that money is much needed since he lost everything while in prison and now has hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal debt. But despite the hardship, Braseel says he forgives the people who unjustly put him behind bars. Do you hold any ill will against the people who put you in prison?
No, ma'am. If we have a revengeful heart, if we're bitter and miserable because of the bad choices of others, we're going to be miserable and bitter every day of our lives because people make bad choices around us all the time.
Braseel says he now plans to spend his time advocating for other innocent people behind bars in his mission to right the wrongs of the justice system. Braseel says he is so excited to finally have all of his rights back now that his record is clear. He says he can't wait to go hunting and vote for the first time this fall.
Of course, we've been covering the issue of homelessness across the city, and tonight we're hearing from the executive director of Open Table Nashville. It's a nonprofit here that is pushing to combat homelessness. Well, the executive director, Paula Foster, today she told me that, hey, she wants the mayor to get more involved in this ongoing issue.
Brookmead Park to Jefferson Street. Nashville's high cost of homelessness is on the minds of concerned community and council members, says Open Table Nashville Executive Director Paula Foster.
Continuing a conversation about how do we fix this, how do we solve this problem, is the only way to actually solve the problem.
Tuesday and Wednesday's public input meeting sparking a conversation for possible solutions. Foster says at least 5 Metro council members were in attendance, but one notable Metro leader was absent.
Do you feel as though you want more Metro council members present perhaps at the next go-round of meetings?
What I would like at the next go-round of meetings is for the mayor to come himself. He continues to respond that he's doing things. He won't partner with us. He won't come and talk to us. He won't listen to what we have to say.
Back in October, Metro Parks director asked for $2 million to help clean up Brookmead Park, but some Metro council members felt spending money was not the answer. I asked District 26 Metro Councilwoman Courtney Johnston, who attended Wednesday night's discussion, if more funding could solve Nashville's homelessness.
Do you feel as though more money is going to have to be allocated towards this situation?
And I think the problem with it is that we've thrown money at it instead of placing money strategically. We don't have a plan. Before you start throwing money at something, let's have a short-term and long-term plan, and then decide what's the best way to get to our end goal.
Tonight, the growing number of homeless camps leaving some frustrated over the lack of an immediate response.
Now, Metro Council members, just like Courtney Johnston, say, of course, more public input meetings are necessary in order to resolve this issue. And she's hoping there's another public input meeting next month.